I think it's pretty safe to say that Rachel Zegler has had a terrible streak of movies that she's been in that have been box office failures. You know, look at West Side Story, look at Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods, and the latest example is The Hunger Games, Songbirds and Snakes, which by the way is already getting below average reviews by official critics, and it's not looking good since Lionsgate is already anticipating this to actually perform below their expectations, as opposed to before about the box office situation for the Hunger Games prequel. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, the thing about Rachel Zegler is that we know that she's definitely one of the insufferable actresses out there. She really has no care in the world about any kind of ramifications that she creates, any kind of consequences that come her way, or toward the studios that have hired her. This is exactly why she said what she said about Andrew Burnap and everything related to Snow White 1937, about the prince being a stalker, that really tarnished what was ever left of Disney's image just a couple of months ago. Now, to top things all off, we know that Rachel Zegler is desperately trying to save her career. We already know that numerous studios are dropping her like flies, and they want nothing to do with her anymore for several factors, alright? We know that the Snow White drama is at the top of the list, but below that, a lot of it has to do with her being a problematic actress on set for not just Snow White, but also for the Hunger Games. We have a lot more to talk about that too, by the way. Now, to top things all off, alright, with Rachel Zegler currently dealing with endless criticism related to Snow White by Disney, one major development has to do with her blacklisting situation in Hollywood. As it turns out, Rachel Zegler was just recently banished forever from other key Hollywood studios. Now, both Universal and Lionsgate already finalized their decision to completely ditch Zegler, with her never getting the chance to work with them again. On top of that, even Warner Brothers recently put their foot down and made the ultimate call to blacklist her as well from two planned MonsterVerse movies that are to be announced by early 2024. Now, Zegler was in deep talks with Warner Brothers for several months to appear as the main lead character in a planned Skull Island sequel that is in early development, and a brand new Godzilla-focused film that would serve as yet another sequel to Godzilla vs. Kong 2. Now, these deals were quickly dropped after Zegler's drama with Snow White erupted, and her Hunger Games movie performance is already looking bleak as it is, in which would bring her up to 3 movie failures already in her career, technically 4 with Snow White ahead of time. In addition to this, one other studio that just made their decision to drop Zegler and banish her completely with both Columbia Pictures and Sony Pictures for a new major animated film that would center on the Spider-Man universe. This was planned to be a voiceover gig for Zegler that was also completely dropped at last minute due to the ongoing backlash from the general public not letting up and only getting worse. This was reportedly a spin-off of one of the Spider-Verse films. Now, she was also in talks with them to do a brand new action thriller that was going to be announced by this February by Sony Pictures to get the word out for a film that they plan to release in 2026 due to the writer strikes and the actor strikes. To make matters worse for Zegler's situation is that she was even in the works to make her way into the Marvel Universe to portray a significant superhero role by Disney. Now guys, let me just stop here for one moment about that. Now, we already know that Zegler is the main reason why her career is going down the drain, and even if you want to say that she ever even had a career, right, that's also debatable. I mean, all the movies that she has been in so far have either been forgettable or have been box office failures where nobody really even remembers her. In fact, I don't know about you, but I never remembered Zegler in Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods, until she opened her mouth about Snow White 2024 at the time. That's now 2025. But at the time, that's really where people began to remember, oh, she was in Shazam 2? I had no idea. Let me look back. Oh, there she is. She's a very forgettable actress for multiple reasons, and I've talked this about many, many times. She's kind of like Brie Larson, very wooden acting, doesn't really know how to deliver a proper performance. It almost seems like she plays the same person in every single movie. Same acting style. never changes things up. You know, it's very much like Brie Larson, it's very much like Phoebe Waller-Bridge. It's not a surprise. Even Amber Heard, same exact thing. So when you look at stuff like this too, the fact that you have all these studios that were giving her a shot in Hollywood, well, there's more to it than just that. We know that her team, her agent and manager, were really trying to push for her career to flourish and to really make it into something on the status of Jenna Ortega, becoming, of course, on that level of her being the new it girl. Alright, so let's tap into that as well. So once Disney fired her from multiple movies, they too recently decided to completely banish her from all films and further conversations. The reason why Zegler was getting so many offers is that her agent and manager are very relentless and determined to make her the new it girl. This ended up turning upside down for her career after her comments went viral for Snow White and Andrew Burnap. And lastly, Paramount is also dropping Zegler from one role that she was in talks for that was going to be a brand new hit series on Paramount Plus that's now in development, that was going to be a brand new mystery thriller, much like whodunit films like Knives Out and others that have been produced by the film industry as of late. Her latest film, The Hunger Games, is already facing trouble, with critics giving it below average reviews. Now, like I said before, a lot of critics are already turning on Lionsgate. You know, they're already saying that this is the worst Hunger Games movie in its own franchise. And I think a lot of that has to do with not just Rachel Zegler, but you're also shifting away from familiar faces that a lot of common moviegoers that may have not read the books are only familiar with Jennifer Lawrence being in these movies, and I think that could also be a major factor too. And again, we know that this movie, in and of itself, Rachel Zegler is banking on this, because if this fails at the box office, and if it does not meet expectations with the audience, this is going to be a third movie that really flipped upside down for her career, and it's not going to look good for Snow White 2025 at all. It's not going to look good for Disney. In fact, if you actually go on her IMDb, and this is working in conjunction with all the studios dropping her, she really has nothing lined up from any major Hollywood studio, and no blockbusters on the horizon beyond Snow White. It's not looking good at all, and this is exactly why she's becoming very jaded and very much bitter with the whole Hollywood studios, and why she is planning a statement to call out the unfairness in Hollywood with Peter Dinklage and Jennifer Lawrence by her side. And about Jennifer Lawrence, she really is also another insufferable. I mean, this is coming from someone who said that she was the first female action star, right? How can you be that deluded? I don't know, but she is. So overall, you know, there's a lot of things happening here with the whole Rachel Zegler drama. I would love to hear what you all have to say about this ongoing situation in the Hollywood bubble between herself, Disney, Paramount, Sony, Columbia, and many others that want nothing to do with her anymore. So if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.